What's going on, family? In this episode of TVR, we're going to go over two different stories. A female National Guard member loses her life. Trump declares the autopen pardon is null and void. We're going to go over both stories on this episode of TVR. Don't miss it. Here it comes.
Show you, he was part of this CIA-backed elite Afghan unit, and this right now shows some details where they operated in Afghanistan, but also the vetting process. Supposedly they went through biometric screenings, in-person interviews, which is very interesting, and Lochinwall's connection here. He was assigned to this O3 unit, recruited and trained by the CIA to fight against the Taliban. This group, also, Rebecca, known for their brutality and called death squads.
It wouldn't be TBR without seeing what both sides are saying. And as usual, the left is trying to blame Trump for everything. Let's listen to what they have to say about the female National Guard member who lost her life. Let's see how they try to pin it on Trump this time.
We need to make sure that we have tight and appropriate and proper vetting. If there were gaps that admitted this person, they would have failed over multiple levels of gaps, and this individual was trusted enough to participate in assisting our military during the war in Afghanistan. So I just think, the president looks everywhere except inward to blame his own policies.
You liar!
We need to make sure that we don't have our military deployed in our cities where handling law enforcement responsibilities, and we need to make sure that we address gun violence. We certainly need to make sure we always have the proper and appropriate and tight vetting processes, and those should be reviewed. But it's never the president's fault.
Bullshit.
Or his policies when it comes to his reaction, and it's pretty disgusting.
And if you thought that was a bad take, that's not the only one. Listen to this Democrat talking head, leaving out a whole bunch of what Trump said and having it taken completely out of context. Shout out to Shannon everywhere for the clip.
You people are so disgusting. I am so sick of your bullshit. You just lie.
The National Guards, they got shot. The female died at age 20, and he gets on there and say, "Oh, she's dead." What type of sympathy is that? Fuck out of here.
Like, all y'all do is lie. Did somebody tell you that, or did you actually watch what he said? This is what he said.
I must unfortunately tell you that just seconds before I went on, right now, I heard that Sarah Beckstrom of West Virginia, one of the guardsmen that we're talking about, highly respected, young, magnificent person, started service in June of 2023, outstanding in every way. She's just passed away. She's no longer with us. She's looking down at us right now. Her parents are with her. It's just happened. She was savagely attacked. She's dead.
Oh, is that 2-second part you were referring to? Because technically he did say those 2 words. A ton more very sympathetic fucking words. You can literally tell that he's upset.
With us. Terrible person. Outstanding in every single way, in every department. It's horrible.
Something heartbreaking happens. A young woman loses her life. You could have posted a ton of other videos about that. You could have shown some sympathy. Instead, you post a little video saying Trump had no fucking sympathy. You have no sympathy. All y'all try to do is find Trump doing something bad. And y'all will make anything up to make it seem like he's bad. To the point of using a heartbreaking situation like this to do it. Fuck you guys.
Which brings us to our next story. And this is how Trump declared that 92% of what Joe Biden and the Biden administration did with the auto pen is now null and void. Let's hear what both sides have to say, and then I'll give you my final take on it. First, Let's see what the left had to say about it.
We saw Joe Biden actually speak and give interviews and respond to questions about some of these specific pardons, particularly for the January 6th committee that are being referred to. What I think is worrying here, to me at least, is that there's a reason. You know, this is Donald Trump setting up the foundation to try to continue investigating and to try to continue to go against the Liz Cheneys and the other members of that January 6th committee that irritate him, right? That he's angry about, that he wants to take retribution and revenge on.
Stop it. Get some help.
If he is taking retribution against a law firm that represented Hillary Clinton, imagine what he would like to do. He's told us what he'd like to do to Liz Cheney.
He's full of shit.
Which is, it's always a question with Trump of, is this really about something underlying, which is his desire to prosecute these people who are now protected by pardons, and will he just test the system and
That's what
see
he does.
if he can get away with it?
So he gets in his mind what he wants to happen and then says, figure out how I can make this happen, whether it's illegal or not, whether I should be doing it or not. We don't have to listen to judges. We can invalidate presidential pardons as long as I get what I want.
He's full of shit.
And there's a lot of people that's okay with that because they're not a target right now. But if they become a target and Trump ignores everything that's in place and there's no stopgap to prevent the people he's targeting from being punished, then it's going to be a problem. So I'm saying...
He's full of shit.
And Scott Jennings of CNN brings up a really good point here about how these Biden autopen pardons had the least visibility of probably any pardon in American history. Let's see him argue his point in front of the pen.
Look, I'm skeptical that argument's going to hold up, but I just would say on the Biden pardons, they didn't go through the normal process. They didn't go through the DOJ. You've been talking about normal process. They did not.
That's true of Trump's pardons,
and,
too.
Yeah. Well,
Scott.
I know, but no one's alleging that he had a device
but,
sign them and he wasn't aware of it.
But Scott, as we've established,
I had a point
since
to make.
2005, it has been established the president can use autopen. It doesn't change anything.
But
also,
I'm not
Trump didn't
arguing
go through a process either, and that's not required. It's a constitutional ability.
I know that, but because it didn't go through a process, and it was his own family, and it was apparently handled by a very small number of people in the White House, these pardons probably have less visibility than any pardons in modern history.
This is also referring to the January 6th committee members, not the family.
But
but they didn't run any of this through DOJ. So at the end
is that suddenly an issue now?
Well, at the end of the Biden,
any pardons
at the end of the
DOJ before he
at the end of the Biden administration, legitimate questions have been asked about who was running the White House and who was exercising the authority of the office of the president. These are not illegitimate questions.
Man, Abby Phillip got roasted pretty good by Scott Jennings at that last part, didn't she? Thank you for listening to these two stories with me. I hope you got some entertainment and some knowledge from it on how both sides feel about both of these stories. That's it for the Vasquez Report. I'm Angel. Until next time, peace.